Hey everybody, welcome to episode, I think 10, maybe 11 of Game Store Guardians, because there is a mystery episode that is missing. But,
Oh,
yes, I'll fill that in a second. I'm Will.
Leo, how you
Yes,
guys doing?
yes, we have Leo back with us this week. Yes, there is a missing episode that I had Rob Reel and Art on after LVO, and we did a whole episode that my computer decided it didn't want to record.
Oof, nothing
So,
worse.
yeah, so that's why there's been a delay in episodes, so I apologize for that. But
Okay, I explained the jump in episode numbers. I'm like, I remember episode like 8 or 9, but nothing past that.
yeah,
So
I'll say I think this is either 10 or 11. I gotta look when I'm done. But yeah,
numbers are hard. It's fine.
episode something half.
Yeah, exactly.
So since then, a lot has happened. A lot of news. We're gonna try to cover it
Yes.
all now. We were supposed to record this last week, but we kept waiting for them to drop the Psylocke and Emma cards, and they just decided not to release them until Friday.
Yeah, they dropped the character cards so much faster than they did anybody else.
Yes, and we'll touch on the character cards real quick. But Psylocke, I love her.
Yeah, she looks interesting. I'm curious to see what she'll fit into.
Weapon X.
As um, my friend, you will take everything that comes out and jam it into Weapon X if it's possible. I see that
Yes,
coming.
I got so many fours.
Soon your entire list is gonna be oops all fours. I see that coming a
Almost,
mile.
almost. I only have right now currently four threes in my list.
Right.
Soon to drop to three threes because I'm probably going to drop Pyro for Psylocke.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I could definitely see
but
that.
all
She
of my
looks like
fours have a purpose, so we'll talk about that later. Let's talk about Psylocke first because we did talk about Emma, or in the missing episode, Rob and Art and I talked about Emma, but we can talk about
they
Psylocke.
okay.
Yeah,
Yep, looking at her character card right
yeah,
now, as a matter of fact.
yeah. We're not going to run down the whole thing because we're going to go a deep dive into Immortal Hulk in a little bit.
Yes,
But
forgot he's coming.
oh my god, you can't forget oh lord, he coming. But I like that Psylocke has a nice mix of energy and mystic attacks.
Mhm.
I love her Cybo as a range 4, and then she gets to advance if she gets a hit, which I mean chances are she's going to get that. It's going to be rare when she doesn't.
Yeah, that's like missing rapid fire on Bucky. If it happens, it's
Yeah,
very rare.
yeah. I like that she has rerolls. She has like unlimited rerolls as far as like what Modok can always go up to 3. She's like, oh,
Yeah,
if I have power, I'm just spending it.
which to be honest with you, looking at her stuff, aside from maybe given how the stun condition on her spender, there's no real reason to burn her power on anything else in terms of her attacks. Like her two builders are nice enough.
Yeah, but that's another. This one here, another one stun before damage, much like Spider Woman.
True, very true.
So it's so good, so good.
And she's got that stealth and martial arts, which is pretty nice.
Yeah. So again, you attack her from range 2.5, much like Spider Woman.
Hmm.
So we'll come back to her now because we're going to talk about her tactics cards real quick because they finally released the cards.
Yes.
Um, let's start with Psylocke's card since we're talking about Psylocke. She does. They come with
Okay.
a reprint of Grievous Wounds,
Yep.
which is going to come in handy later. It's like the Mickey Mouse
Yes.
Club when they're like, "Oh, it's a surprise tool that'll help us later."
Now
But
that's a reference and a half.
but the two that are Psylocke oriented are Crimson Dawn and Psionic
Yep.
Constructs.
Yes.
You can read Psionic Constructs. I'll read Crimson Dawn, so you can go first.
All right. So psionic constructs is unaffiliated and it's reactive. When an allied character within 3 of allied Psylocke targets an enemy character with an attack, Psylocke can spend 2 power to play the card. This attack type is now Mystic, and the allied character may reroll any number of dice during this attack, excluding the skulls.
Yeah. So look at that. That's wonderful.
That's pretty much that's almost like having Plucky from Star Lord. If he doesn't get the hits, we could reroll pretty much any. He
Hmm.
could pretty much reroll his whole thing. Zemo's reroll. It's all on a card, and you could pick what you want, which is fantastic.
My friend, you are thinking small.
I just threw out 2 quick ones. I haven't been thinking much.
Listen, think of a Mystic Helios laser that you can reroll everything.
And there's my heart. There's my heart. I didn't want to think about the evil that was the Helios laser being Mystic now, but here we are.
Yes, or if you think about in Weapon X, where Wolverine, when he's alone, gets 2 rerolls, but
Yes.
now you can make him full rerolls, and then if he's alone, he can get the 2 rerolls on top.
So Wolverine just becomes bigger Blendini at that point.
Yes. Oh my god, I got off a Tornado Claw yesterday on 3 targets and dazed 2 of them. It was wonderful.
That's always nice when Wolverine pops off like that. It's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah, against Noah.
Is Noah okay? I'm sort of. I feel like he's just a resident punching bag at
No,
this
no, no.
point.
Me and Noah had a really good game yesterday. The only reason I won was because he screwed up his placement and he forgot to place somebody within 2 for the paranoia, so we tied. So we
Oh,
went an extra round.
extra round. That
Yep.
sucks.
I had 2 games last night that tied. One went into the extra round with Noah, and then Mike's friend Nick.
Mhm.
We went to round 8.
What the?
Spider Foes versus Malekith Cabal. It came down to Rogue versus Mysterio.
What? What? What bloodbath did I miss?
Oh, it was wonderful, and Rogue wound up dying to the alien core damage.
Of course you did.
Yeah,
Everything to die to.
Malekith also. Mysterio was soloing Malekith after Doc Ock went down and lived.
That's, so you're telling me Mysterio's accounted for Malekith, or just
Well, every
Mysterio's
time
lucky?
he would move towards me, I would tricks and traps and then move away.
Yeah, that's the okay. Yeah, so that's something to consider then.
Yes, but we're sidetracked. But yeah,
Of
so
course.
psionic constructs, very fun. There's gonna be a lot of nice uses for psionic constructs, and that is a nice little card for convocation too. Like if you decide to
Mm,
put Psylocke in convocation, everything's mystic and reroll.
which is nice.
Yeah.
That's very nice to have. I mean, she's gonna fit well in a lot of different affiliations, especially with just that card. Especially, I mean, not even just for the big damaging stuff too. Like that's gonna be useful for a number. I wonder how well that would work with Web Warriors with their reroll chicanery, but that's just me.
Okay.
Is it just attacks? Let me just double check
Yeah,
myself
it's
here.
just
I'm like,
attacks. It's just attacks.
oh, then never mind. It wouldn't do much of anything. But then again, with trying to think. I mean, convocation you said is a good one. Also, doesn't Hydra have a bunch of rerolls
Yes.
involved?
Yes.
So she might work in Hydra.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, between Zemo, Strucker, Zola.
Hmm.
Yeah. So this is gonna be a fun card. I can't wait to see the evil that comes out of it.
I'm not looking forward to the evil that's going to come out of it.
And then this is the card I want to talk about, Crimson Dawn, because
Yes.
my God. All right. So Crimson Dawn. First of all, let's take a look at this character art that shows clearly Archangel up in the corner there,
Yes.
and
And
Logan,
what?
Ninja
Yeah,
Logan.
Samurai. Yeah, Samurai Wolverine. I'm down for that.
Yeah. So Crimson Dawn, unaffiliated, reactive. When an allied Psylocke flips her stat card to its injured side, she may spend 3 power to play this card. Psylocke gains the superpower shown below. It's an innate power, mark of the Crimson Dawn. At the beginning of this character's activation, and after each of its actions, this character may place itself within 1. Additionally, this character gains healing factor 1.
Okay.
God, that's ugly. Just so good.
So that. So now that would also make her a target for exceptional healing too, if you really needed it, which is
Yep.
nice. That's
Exactly.
great.
So it's like move, bounce 1. Attack, bounce another 1.
Yep.
And that's not even counting if she gets the pursuit off a Cybo or any other
Hmm.
shenanigans.
So her injured side with this card is going to make her a mobile
Oh
nightmare
God, yeah.
for the most part.
It's gonna be great.
It
Especially
looks
she's
like.
probably gonna be affiliated in X Force, so you can hit her with the cat and mouse and bump her up ahead of time anyway.
Yeah.
Get
The only
some.
thing is, only thing I can see coming out of this is someone hits her with what is it? Am I thinking poison that only gives you the 1 energy?
Poison makes you lose energy. Stun is the
Makes
one that makes you
stun.
only gain 1.
Yeah, so if someone hits her with stun and then dazes the hell out of her first round, that's the only counter I really see to this.
True.
So that like it looks like the card will be easy to play around, but if someone doesn't have that stun capability for Psylocke, then that's gonna be an absolute nightmare pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's gonna be super fun on the backside. And her,
And yeah, look at in my opinion, if you look at it this way, her and Logan in the back line, that if she gets flipped early and you put her and Logan in the back line, forget about it.
oh yeah,
You now have to worry about two fronts,
it's Murder Town. It's just straight up Murder Town.
which is right up your alley, all things considered.
It is like Weapon X is my team right now. Like I'm planning on bringing them to ACO, which we'll talk about later.
Yep.
I keep tweaking the list a little bit. All my fours have purpose, but we'll get into that in a bit too because we got to talk about Emma.
Yes.
So we'll start with let's start with her affiliated Uncanny X-Men card for Headmistress.
Here we go.
Yeah, so you can read that one.
Okay, so Headmistress, Uncanny X-Men active. During Emma Frost activation, she may spend X amount of power to play this card. For each power spent, an allied Uncanny X-Men character that is not holding an objective may advance M. So it's pretty much Uncanny X-Men's Avengers Assemble for the most part,
Yes.
which is actually really good because Uncanny X-Men kind of need something to help them kind of get online a little
They
quicker.
don't need shit. They got first class.
You're, I said to get them. I might get them in the fight a little faster, maybe.
Mhm.
First, objective wise, they don't need a damn thing. They're already a pain in my ass.
Yeah.
Just ask Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, X-Men. Last night was the first game I actually had a good game against X-Men. X-Men sometimes gives me a problem.
I don't play anybody who really plays Uncanny X-Men all that often. I think Mike is the first person since I started playing that actually uses Uncanny X-Men.
Oh, you haven't played Noah's Uncanny X-Men?
I think I played him when I first started playing, and I had just Web Warriors, and that was like David versus Goliath. But
Yeah.
aside from that, no, it's been
It's the same shit.
over a year.
I played
It's, of
Noah's
course,
Uncanny X-Men like a week or two ago, and I was like, wow, I just started playing apparently.
I still live by the old adage: if you're dead, you can't fight me.
Yeah, that's my motto.
As Guardian player, yeah, pretty much.
But I like that it's Emma doing the power, even though it seems like she's going to have a little bit of power struggles, possibly. But it's not each X-Men is spending the power, it's just Emma. And they have to
Right.
not be holding an objective token. So, a couple of hoops, but I think this is a strong card for X-Men.
I mean, it depends on how quickly you can get power on her. I mean, her ability to flip will be nice to keep her alive a little longer, so she can kind of gain that power. But it's again, it's going to be very dependent on how quick that she could do that because she's got other stuff that I think the power would be a little bit better suited to go towards. But
Yeah.
it's definitely going to be a balancing act that you're going to have to sit down and put the time into kind of learning.
True.
I think.
And then once again, looking at this card art, I see Jubilee.
Yep, I see her
I don't know who this is back here, behind her.
with the goatee and the green jacket.
Yeah, I think that's Banshee, but I'm not sure.
I couldn't tell you.
And I don't know who the other two are, but I see Jubilee.
Yeah.
And it's not Vampire Jubilee, so that makes me happy.
I'm just excited that Jubilee gets any kind of love because I haven't seen anything involving that girl since like the '90s cartoon.
Oh, I know. She's coming, though. All right. Next, we have Mind Transfer.
Yes,
So, this one I'm excited for.
which means I'm gonna hate it.
Yeah, unaffiliated active. During Emma Frost activations, you may spend 4 to play this card. Choose an enemy character with an activated token within 3 of Emma Frost. Move an activated token from the chosen character to another enemy character that does not have an activated token within 2 of the chosen character. So, there's a good side and a bad side to this.
Mm-hmm.
So, the good side... Well, the bad side is you're giving your opponent another activation with a character.
Yep.
Which may not be a big deal if you use the card, pass off a token, and then kill that character.
Yeah.
Because, violence is always the answer. But the good side of it is you can toss that, as long as they're within range, and she has superpowers that make people walk and do things.
Yeah, she does.
She can, you have a Wong that has an activated token. We're just going to move that onto Hulk.
Yep. Like that's the big plus to it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're giving somebody else another activation shot, but at the biggest thing to it is to make it so a bigger threat doesn't have a chance to go.
Yeah.
That's the best play use for it.
And speaking as someone who played against an Ulik last night with Green Goblin, my Goblin did 1 attack the entire game and got activated twice from that stupid shatter thing because he hit the triggers 2 times in
right.
a row.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
That's nuts.
I'm like, this is ridiculous. Then I'm like, re-roll your
That's
one defense.
my god.
Yeah, Green Goblin wasn't having a good night, but it was fine. But that's a very, very powerful ability. But again, it's expensive. It's 4 power.
Yeah,
So
definitely. But so, like I said with the last card, you have to kind of leverage that power use. Like,
yeah,
what's more important? One of her reactive abilities, or making it so that, say, I don't know, Malekith doesn't get a turn.
yeah,
Because
and
that could be a very big difference between Malekith getting a turn or you killing Malekith if he's on his flip side already.
yeah, true, true. And once again, on this card art, we have the last original Brotherhood member, Avalanche.
Oh god, dude, you're so good at picking these out because I'm looking at that and that's so like faded on my side. I couldn't pick who that was.
Yeah, I couldn't tell from my phone, but looking on the computer, I'm like, oh yeah, that's clearly Avalanche. But
And I see Pyro's in there as well.
yep, and I think it's just those two.
Yeah, that's all I could see
Yeah.
in there.
So the last card we have is the Hellfire Club affiliation,
Yes.
which this card is wonderful. Do you want to read it or you want me to read it?
I guess I'll read it out there.
Okay.
So, my Hellfire Club, unaffiliated reactive. When this card is included in your squad, if your squad is unaffiliated, it includes Emma Frost. And this card, you may play this card. Your squad is now using the Hellfire Club affiliation, regardless of other affiliated characters. Emma Frost gains the following leadership ability. It is your active leadership. Wake Queen's Pawns. Once per round, at the end of an allied character's activation, Emma Frost may use this leadership ability. When she does, all other allied characters contesting or holding an objective gain 1 power and remove 1 damage token. All other allied characters not contesting or holding an objective lose 1 power and suffer 1 damage. Emma gains 1 power for each power lost in this way and removes 1 damage for each damage suffered in this way, which is really interesting because it's hurting your own team. It's kind of like almost like how Dormammu works a little bit.
Oh yeah, she's pretty Dormammu.
Like, yeah, I can respect that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no notes needed. You're in there.
Yeah.
More aesthetically pleasing Dormammu.
Yes.
But it looks like you at least have a choice with this affiliation. It's not like, oh, she's in the list. Guess what? No choice. They're automatically
Yes.
using Dark Dimension.
Because it is a choice to be affiliated or not affiliated, regardless of who you're bringing.
Right.
So the thing I love about this is it's so thematic because she's rewarding the people that have an objective and she's punishing the people that aren't, but she is ultimately gaining everything from it.
And it looks like she suffers no ill effects for
No.
for the people. Like when others gain, she doesn't lose anything for that, which
No.
is kind of there's no real downside to it. Honestly,
Not at all. And you know who loves this leadership?
I couldn't tell you.
Healing factor characters.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, because they take the damage, she gains power, and then they heal the damage.
I was just starting to like to play this game again.
No.
I was just starting to like my time.
So Weapon Hellfire might be a thing also.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. You could probably sneak that in with. I mean, granted, there's only one healing factor character on Spider Foes, but I feel like Spider Foes might also benefit from this.
Yeah, they could. And like a beta ray build, he takes damage, but he can just not take the damage.
Yeah.
Just reduce that.
Exactly. So she might work in Guardians too, for all I know.
She could work in Asgard. Well, no, she wouldn't work in Asgard because you're using that leadership. So yeah, that wouldn't work.
Yeah, there's no reason. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, then again, same problem with Guardians because you're using Quills. There's no reason not to use the rerolls.
Yeah. So like, it's not going to be every character, but if you have like, you could put a whole team of thick tanky boys and Emma and be like, oh, here's my Hellfire Club with Hulkbuster, Juggernaut, Rhino, and Emma.
Terrain? What terrain?
Yeah. No. So what is that? That's 6. That's what did I say? Hulkbuster, Rhino.
Hulkbuster, Rhino, and Juggernaut.
So you do Hulkbuster and Rhino is 10, Juggernaut's 5, and then Emma's 4. So that's 19 points.
Wait, I thought Hulkbuster was a 5 drop.
No, he's 6.
Oh, he is 6.
Yeah.
So then Hulk Buster would be 12.
Yep, 12. And then you can
And then
do Emma for
yep.
16, and then Rhino. So 20.
I God,
Team Thick Boy.
that whole team. I forget. Was there another affiliation that was Team Thick Boy for a hot minute?
Well, Kingpin's
right
always
about,
Team Thick Boy.
there we go. That's probably what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Or
Which
you do Thanos with 2 gems at 8, Emma at 12, and then you still have 8 points to play with. You could throw a Hulk in there for 6, and then put like Bullseye.
Bullseye or Toad. Yeah, that's fine. I didn't like playing this game anyway. I was like painting the miniatures.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fine.
There's just ugly things that you could do, but like, I love that. I wonder if they release future Hellfire Club characters, if they're all going to have a Hellfire Club leadership like this.
I can't imagine why you would make multiple leaderships like that. I mean, granted, doesn't Convocation have something like that where you can kind of pick between two different leaderships
Well,
on
yeah,
the
you can
same
flip.
card?
You can flip the card.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can flip the card. But I don't know. Have there been multiple leaders for Hellfire Club? This is my first introduction to the Hellfire Club as any kind of affiliation in comics. So
Yeah, well, the Hellfire Club started off. I can't even say it started off like that, but they had certain leaders. So you had Sebastian Shaw, who was the Black King. Emma was the White Queen. There was a Black Queen. I think her original name was Celine, and then after Jean Grey died and came back, Madeline Pryor was a clone of Jean Grey, was known as the Black Queen, also the Goblin Queen. And then I want to say either Mastermind or Black Tom Cassidy was the White King. But now in the current X-Men comics, Hellfire is more of like an organization, and they have like the galas, and they have this whole thing. Because the new X-Men comics, I'm still catching up on them. They're crazy.
right,
They're
okay,
just flat out nuts. But
all right.
so now there's like the Hellfire Corporation, and there's a whole thing. So
All right.
I'm
So it may
looking
make
forward.
sense then.
Yeah, it may make sense. I want to see the back of this card, but the art's not there yet because I want to see who's under all these words. I don't think there is anybody. I think she's literally just sitting on a
No,
chair.
it looks like it's Emma just sitting on a throne because I have it blown up on the screen next to me.
Yeah.
And I can make out a chair pretty clearly, so I think it's just her as the White Queen sitting in like a throne. I think that's all it really
Yeah, I
is.
was really hoping like the Stepford Cuckoos are on there, which are like her adopted daughters. They're like clones of Emma. There's 3 of them, but they're like kids. They're like kids, so she adopted them basically as her kids. And like they're like the only people she cares about.
Man, Marvel has like this weird fascination with clones, and like I'm
Oh
starting to
God,
question
yeah.
some stuff.
Marvel's wild. Well, now you know the whole deal with the X-Men now, right?
No, I was never really into the X-Men comics,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
They can't die. So
Okay.
because the way it works now, because they just finished House of X, Powers of X, which is like the beginning of the current run. So there's a bunch of Cerebros that Professor X basically made mental backups of every mutant. So if any X-Men dies, they have essentially a rebirth / cloning chamber where they can pop out another Cyclops and put his like last saved backup memory into that Cyclops. Yeah, it's wild.
I mean, at least it's a fresh idea. It's not, it's not the same thing they've done 30,000 times before, where it's like 15 clones of the same guy running around and going like, we don't know who the real player is anymore. But okay.
Yeah, no, it's wild. But now the other flip side of that is like there's like 4 or 5 Mr. Sinisters running around, and each one has a different personality. That's like the current thing, Sins of Sinister, which is like the current. I'm not even up to that point yet.
I mean, an episode of Jimmy Neutron did that too. So I mean,
yeah, Michael Keaton did a whole movie about it, Multiplicity.
I forgot about that.
I'll go for the deep cuts.
Listen. It can only go so deep. All right.
All right.
Already hitting bone at this point.
Speaking of feeling like it's going deep, let's talk about fucking Immortal Hulk.
Yeah, this. I don't know what anybody in the Discord is talking about. I see this guy being a replacement for Standard Hulk. Like, there's no reason not to take him. At least from what I'm looking at.
Yeah. So I'm not super familiar with the storyline, but when I heard it, I started looking it up. So apparently, this Hulk straight up couldn't die. And
Okay.
most of the comic run took place in his head with a different Hulk personality. So like Banner, Devil Hulk, Gray Hulk, like they're all in the head. But like at one point, like Hulk is dismembered and living in jars and still alive. Like
Okay. That checks.
wild.
Hulk literally, and Green Man in purple pants literally too angry to die.
Yes,
That's Hulk.
yes. So this now gives us the Immortal Hulk, which I'll go ahead and read his top stat line, base stats, whatever over here. So
Okay.
first of all, the sculpt is amazing,
Yeah.
like so
That's
good.
probably that's probably the best one they put out,
Yeah,
and Beta Ray Bill was really a high bar for that.
yeah. So Immortal Hulk, aka Bruce Banner. So we got 4 physical, 3 energy, and 5 mystic defense because he's a
Which
wizard.
is that's nutty.
He's in convocation. He has 15 health, 7 threat, so thick threat boy. Size
Yep.
4, and he moves short. There is no backside, just like traditional Hulk,
Yep.
but it's way different from traditional Hulk.
Oh yeah, this his mechanics. I'm excited to see them actually used.
All right, so we'll let you start with the attacks.
Okay, so as per usual with every single character that is the Incredible Hulk, his first attack is of course called Smash. Range 2, 7 dice, no energy. After the attack is resolved, gain energy equal to damage dealt. On a wild, after the effect is resolved, if the target character is size 4 or less, this character may throw the target character short. So you do get the choice on that, which is nice. It's not a requirement.
Mm-mm.
So if you want to keep someone close for another punch in the mouth, that's a choice you have.
Throw on a builder.
Yeah,
on a 7 dice builder.
that's see, every time I see Hulk come on the board, it's like, okay, it's not that bad. And I remember, oh no, wait, his standard stuff is like 6, 7 dice off the jump.
Yeah.
So next up we have his big boy attack, which is called Gamma Burst.
Yeah, big boy attack.
Looking at the stat line for this, yeah. Before damage is dealt, this character may throw the target character short, which is nuts.
Unrestricted throw.
Unrestricted throw, no size to it. Which, by the way, I jumped ahead of myself here. It's a range 3, 10 dice on 5 energy. That's literally Hulk smash puny whatever's in front of him.
Yeah.
That's what this attack is. And then the target does not. This is something we've not seen before. We've seen targets lose energy. We've seen targets get energy sapped from them. The target does not gain energy for damage dealt
No,
by the attack.
There are a couple of attacks like that.
Are there? I've not seen them on the tabletop.
Hulkbuster has Meteor Punch,
Okay.
and Domino's Lucky Shot.
Okay.
Don't gain
So
power. So, but
Well,
it's a
that's-
rare. It's a rare thing.
But that just speaks to how infrequently or ever I've ever seen Hulkbuster on the table, and that just speaks to how frequently anybody uses that attack on Domino.
As
So
a side note, that's so sad because I love the Hulkbuster model and I want to use him more.
I bought him. I bought him after the tournament, and I put him in Guardians to replace regular Hulk. So we'll see how he plays.
Yeah, I think he'd be fun there.
I hope so.
All right, so I'll start hitting the reactive superpower or the the superpowers you got to pay for. So
All right.
we know it, we love it. Gamma Leap coming back, 3 power. Place this character within 2 of his current position. Superpower
Yes.
can only be used once per turn. Needs that absolutely.
Only way to keep him fair.
Yes. Okay. Here's for 3 power. Leave Hulk alone. Choose an interactive terrain feature or an enemy character, both size 4 or less, and within 2, and throw it medium. This superpower can only be used once a turn. That means my man has 3 throws on his card.
Yup.
That's gross.
That's unnecessary. And I'm thinking, I mean, displacement is big for the game nowadays. I mean, honestly, he works in a lot of affiliations now just for that alone.
And I honestly thought this Hulk was going to be a less of a control Hulk and more of a just straight up violent, smashy Hulk. Which, I mean, granted, he is violent, smashy, but I wasn't expecting 3 throws.
No. God, no. When they first put out Immortal Hulk, my first thought process was maybe some damage reduction just for the hell of it. maybe more movement options. Not get away from me, please.
No.
I want no part of this.
No. All right. So we'll take turns on this one. So you could do the first one.
All right, so next up we have Endless Rage. During the power phase, as usual with the previous Hulk, he will gain 2 additional power. So he'll get 3 power off the jump instead of just the standard 1.
And all these are the innate powers. So these are all the ones built in. Don't have to pay for them.
Exactly. These are the freebies.
Now, here's where it gets fun. So,
Yes.
innate immortality. During the cleanup phase, if this character has a dazed token and an immortality token, it's KO'd. So he is able to be KO'd. However, otherwise, during the cleanup phase, while this character is dazed, if this character does not have an immortality token, it removes all special conditions and all power from itself. For each power removed this way, remove 1 damage from itself. It then removes the dazed token and gains an immortality token. So it's a flip side without having a flip side, where if he's not dazed, you get the token, now you're working on borrowed time. Maybe after we get to the next power. Leo, if you would, please.
Of course. The next innate power this man has is called the Green Door. This power, I don't like this.
No.
At the end of each turn, if this character has an immortality token, it may remove one damage, I can talk, from itself. If the character has no damage left, it removes the immortality token.
So, and when he says each turn, that means I go, you go, I go, you go. So after each one of those, he's healing.
Yep. So now you're the one on borrowed time, because if you leave Hulk alone on that quote-unquote flip side long enough, he's just going to come back angrier than he was before.
Yes.
And you have to knock him out all over again and make him get the immortality token again.
Yes.
Which is a nightmare situation. I mean, granted, this is where Grievous Wounds would come into play, I think, which would be fantastic. But
Actually, I do want to look up Grievous Wounds real quick, just so we can actually get the wording on that. So
fair enough. But, like, looking at this power, this makes it so the whole ignore Hulk or deal with him strategy, I don't think is really a thing anymore. Like, you have to deal with him.
Yes. So
he's just going to keep coming back.
So here's Grievous Wounds. Let me read it real quick, because this is. I feel like this card is definitely going to be making a comeback. Because this is one of those cards I look at, and I'm like, I should use this card, and then I'm like, it's situational. If the Hulk's on the table, it's coming out. So Grievous Wounds, unaffiliated, reactive. During a character's activation, when it targets an enemy character with an attack, it may spend 1 to play this card. If the target character is dealt damage by this attack, the target character cannot have damage removed from it this activation phase. So, it's not like all attacks added towards the round, but if you are coming in with your heavy hitter, and you think you might be able to possibly put down Hulk, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely
Definitely.
go for it. And just
there's no reason not to.
And just to round out the card, then we can go back to talking about him. He has 3 immunities: Hex, Poison, Stun. So he's going to be exploding his crits. Poison he's always going to get all his power, and you can't stun him, so he's always going to be gaining all his power. So he is a nightmare monster.
Which I think already makes him an awesome counter to Dormammu, because Dormammu hands out Hex like candy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's, I don't remember, Dormammu's what, a size 5?
He is a size 5, so he can be thrown with the spender.
Yeah. So, I mean, and also, if you don't kill him, it gets you away from him, if anything, which is nice. But, like, I think this Hulk's gonna see a lot more play than people think.
Yeah. Like, this Hulk he's a problem. Like,
I can agree with that.
Last year was the summer of Malekith. This is the spring of Hulk.
You know what, though? Unlike Malekith, though, I can at least somewhat deal with this. Like, this can die. This can get thrown away. They had to fix Malekith in order to make him reasonable.
Yes. And not even mentioning the fact that there's another MODOK coming, which we don't even know what that card's going to be. But they're probably going to show that this week, I'm sure.
Yeah, I really hope they do something different with that. It's not just a new model for him, because that's annoying.
No, you know what? I mean, if this Hulk is 7 threat, maybe we're going to get like a 7 or 8 threat MODOK. That's just wild.
I mean, to be honest with you, MODOK is a threat to begin with, even with his current model. So I can't imagine how they make that any worse than it already is.
I don't know, but now there are a few ways to deal with this Hulk that I could think of. Sap power is going to be
Hmm.
very good if you can roll some wilds into Hulk.
Yep.
Psylocke has one of her attacks that drains power from you on wilds. It's not sap, but it still drains power. Like the key is to get him to the immortal side
Yep.
with no power.
Yeah, that's the battle strategy. I mean, the downfall with the Psylocke thing though, it's for every wild you roll. So at the lowest you're sapping 0 power. At the high side you're sapping 5.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's even if you get 1 power off him, it might help, but it's not reliable. That's for sure. I mean, your Psylocke would be good to bring into him because she does have the power. Rogue is good to bring
Yep.
into him. I'm trying to think who else has a power sap on them that
Wizards. I believe Voodoo has it.
I think Voodoo does. Let me
Yeah.
double check Voodoo.
I
I
believe
mean,
Voodoo has the sap.
not Voodoo. That's not how you spell that.
Voodoo.
That's all right. Here we go, Doctor Voodoo. Yeah, on the wild. So on his builder has it,
Yeah.
and then his staff of Legba, his spender also. It looks like both have power sap, whether it's the spender or the builder. So that's Voodoo would be very good for that because that's a little bit more reliable. I'd say you could do it a lot more often.
Let's see something. Oh, there's a few. Okay, so I have the list of sap power people
Okay,
because I used the filter. So, Widow, like core Widow.
really?
Well, wait. I typed in sap. Yeah, Widow's Sting. After its attack resolves on a wild, character loses 1 power.
Okay, well there we go.
Cassandra Nova. She has
Okay.
sap power on her builder. We talked about Voodoo. Dormammu himself
Hmm.
has a sap power.
Hmm.
Enchantress.
Right.
Jean Grey. So we may be starting to see a comeback for some of these people. MODOK.
It'd be nice to actually use her.
Yeah, I love Jean Grey. She's not good in X Men. She's a better Avenger. Um,
Basebox Red Skull's got it.
yeah, Corebox, Red Skull, Rogue, and Vision.
What has Vision got on him? It's been a minute. Vision been sitting on the shelf. It's been a minute since I got to use him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his builder, his energy
Yep.
builder's got it.
So I mean, some of these characters may start making a comeback. Like you may roll up to somebody that's rolling with Jean Grey or Cassandra Nova and just be like, okay, I don't know how to deal with them because nobody uses them.
Honestly, it's also a really good thing to bring against him. Just looking at him. I mean, granted, psychic energy, missing anything can do a dang thing, but anything with incinerate too to make that energy one less. So
Yep.
Pyro and Human Torch may not be a bad idea, or Ghost Rider.
Yeah. Ghost Rider's another one with the penance stare and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's another prime candidate for dealing with Hulk.
Yeah, I forgot about Ghosty.
Yeah. So Hulk's he's gonna be something.
Yep, instead of gaining damage, the attack dealt target character loses energy for every damage dealt. So yeah, Pennister would be a great thing. It's 5. He's got 5 Mystic Defense, but still, you're rolling 5 dice plus what is it? The amount of energy the character on him. So if Hulk's built up, you can roll a pretty hefty penance stare into him, pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. But I mean, we thought we saw a lot of Hulk now.
Mm-hmm.
This Hulk is coming out. You want to hear something gross?
I not particularly, but you're gonna ruin my night anyway.
Immortal Hulk Logan Sabretooth 15 on Gamma.
I don't I don't like any of that. I'm not a fan of any of that involved because I don't have any choice but to go into the blender, and if the blender doesn't kill me, the Smash-O-Matic over here is gonna
Yeah.
do it. Like that's a force you to fight setup, and I'm not okay with it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like going tall with Weapon X personally, but I'd probably try that at least one time. Just,
Knowing you would try it the one time and be like, I can make this better.
yeah. Oh, you want to hear really, really gross? Unaffiliated
Mm-hmm.
Thanos with 2 gems and Hulk. That's your whole team.
I
I don't know how viable 2 people is, but
it depends how violent are they.
I mean, you can just use Thanos to move people to Hulk.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, it may not be as viable as we'd like to think.
No,
You're
no,
wrong
no,
on
no.
that
I
one.
don't think that one's a viable one at all. That's definitely just a fun one. Like, oh, look at my team. We're gonna do Gamma. Here's two people. Deal with
Yeah, yeah. You're mostly the amount of damage you have to pump into both of them to kill either one is a massive nightmare. So I can see that. Oh my god, sorry
them.
about that.
That's all right. Um.
Whenever I'm not home, everybody texts me at one time.
Oh, that's me at work. Whenever I go to lunch, that's when everybody calls. But now the other interesting thing with Immortal Hulk, according to what I've read from the storyline,
Mhm.
he shouldn't be affiliated anywhere.
Right, because I think you were mentioning this in the Discord where like his entire thing was like he was fighting everybody
Yeah.
for the most part.
So it'll be interesting if we have a completely unaffiliated Hulk, because that's a big 7 points of your roster. It's not
Not part
affiliated.
of
Yeah.
anything. Yeah.
I mean, I honestly think they're probably going to put him in Avengers just because. But I
I mean
kind of hope he's just straight up unaffiliated.
I mean everybody's in Avengers at this point in time. I think even characters that are not part of the Avengers are somehow in Avengers
Yeah.
at this point.
Because then you would get his Gamma Leap and his Leave Hulk alone under Steve for just two each.
Which is a nightmare situation in its own right.
Yeah. So I we won't know this. He comes out mid-April. Him and MODOK are both
Yep.
coming out April like 15th, 16th, something like that. Um, and we'll find out probably a week before with the affiliation document, which means maybe this Friday we might get affiliation document for Psylocke and Emma.
Which would be nice because I'd like to see what they're at. I mean, obviously they're going to be probably Uncanny X-Men in some way, shape, or form. I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if they somehow work. I don't think Psylocke was Brotherhood, but I feel like they try to work her in some way, shape, or form.
She was X Force, so this might
She
be a
was
little X
X.
Force
Okay.
one. Yeah,
That,
Emma
that,
could be. She's not really Brotherhood, but like I can. There's an argument to be made.
I could see because I feel like there was a point or another. I don't know if it was in the comics or one of the cartoon series where like she was introduced as a member of the Brotherhood, but I'm. It's been so long,
Yeah,
my memory's like failing me at this point. I'm sure I could look it up,
yeah,
but
but so they're gonna be Psylocke is definitely X Men X Force.
mhm.
I'm the dark horse candidate there is Criminal Syndicate because they do mention on the back of the box that she
Mhm.
was with the Hand.
Okay.
So I'm thinking she may be in Criminal Syndicate, which could be interesting under Daredevil.
Yeah, I could see that. I could definitely see that. It'd be. I'm interested to see how. I mean, after me and Criminal Syndicate have a very tumultuous relationship. All right.
Yeah.
Anytime someone brings it up, I get nom flashbacks. Unfortunately.
You're like, damn, Kingpin.
Oh God, I don't even remind me. That was the first game I've ever looked at. Like the second term, and be like, you know what? We're done here. Anything past this is gonna be a waste of both our
First of all, that's
times.
a lie. You say that every time we play.
No, that wasn't against you. That was against
Yeah, I
Oh
know.
God, who took?
John.
Yeah, John. Like at second round, I'm like, you know what? No, you're ahead by like 15 already. We're done here, dude. Anything more past this, like so I can't imagine like anything else making that better than it already is.
Yeah,
You know.
it happens.
Uh, yeah, when an allied character attacks, and I'm sorry, I look up trying to let Daredevil's like leadership because I
Oh
forget what
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
does. Holding or contesting an objective may reroll one attack die, including skulls. Okay, so that's actually not that bad. As long
Yep.
as you're on an objective of some way, shape, or form, you get the one reroll and it's a skull. That could be there's you get a trigger or not. To be perfectly honest with you, so
Yeah,
that's not bad. That wouldn't be bad with her. That wouldn't be bad with her in the slightest.
not at all. So, all right. Moving on though, because I think
Yes.
we've kind of exhausted Hulk for now until we come back in a couple months and we're like, this character's broken. Delete him from the game. It's fucking
Yes.
terrible.
To everybody in listener land, I guarantee you, I will be the first one to put that up somewhere.
Yeah.
Guarantee it, because I'll be on the receiving end. I always am.
No, Leo's gonna be like, how do you deal with this guy?
Aside from breaking the model and tearing the card, how do I stop
Because
this?
you know Rob is gonna put Sleeper Agent Hulk on this stupid bullshit.
Oh my God, why do you keep reminding me that Rob does that?
Because Rob's terrible.
I know. Well, hold on a minute. Who is it? Archie the one who usually tables him?
No, I've tabled Rob. Arch tabled Rob, I believe. I think.
I think I tape. I think I tabled him once actually. Like
Yeah.
that one weekend where no one showed up. I think I tabled him
But it's the
actually.
one, it's whenever he decides to start doing stupid things with Malekith and Sleeper Agent and Hulks that it's just like, all right, you know what, Rob, we can't be friends.
Now, I like Rob. He's a reasonable enough guy. He's a pretty good dude. But like, he does that stuff, and I'm like, all right, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. I might be wrong.
Yeah. But speaking of other things, tickets have
Yes,
gone on sale
yes, they have.
for ACO, the Atlantic City Open, the weekend of
Yes.
June 16th. And today, Nova in DC,
Okay. Yes, that's August,
Labor Day
right?
weekend.
Labor Day weekend.
Yes. Last I checked, the Friday events for MCP were almost sold out.
Wow.
For the main tournament, and then they're doing two heats basically, and then Sunday is like the best of the 2 days.
Is that for Nova or
That's for Nova.
ACO? Nova.
ACO is
Okay.
doing Saturday is the main tournament. They're
hmm
doing a team tournament Friday, so it's 3-on-3 team tournament.
hmm
Saturday is your main tournament and a couple of side things, and then Sunday is the top 8 from Saturday plus
Right.
another tournament, just like a standard singles tournament. So it's a whole weekend full of events. Tickets for that are only $45, and you
It's
just
not
buy
bad.
one ticket, play whatever you want.
That's not bad at all for 45. That's actually really reasonable.
Yeah, and then the room blocks are 154 a night.
I see. I like when events do that when they do like the block of hotels
Yeah,
giving you a discount. I like when they do that.
so
That's
like
great.
300 and change for 2 nights in AC because I'm not going to do the team tournament. I'm going to go up after work on Friday,
Right.
so I'll be doing Saturdays and Sunday.
Yeah, I'd
But
probably be in the same boat.
yeah, I am looking forward to ACO. We're going to go
Well,
there.
ACO's what started your whole tournament arc for the most part.
Yeah, like I was never like super competitive, and like this was my first tabletop game anyway. But once I started playing like monthly tournaments, like ooh, I like this, and then ACO, I'm like, oh, this is great. Like I went 1-5, which for a first major tournament, I just didn't want to wash out completely. I won one
Mhm.
game, I was happy. This year,
Right.
I'd like to win at least half my games. If I win more, that'd be great.
I mean, considering your plays of late, I could definitely see you hitting that number.
I hope so. I mean, as of right now, I'm still planning on bringing Weapon X because I love them.
Your
And
weapon, this watching the evolution of your weapon action when you first painted them and brought them in till now has been a hell of a journey because you're doing stuff that I didn't even think was possible with that affiliation, and it's really making me want to pick it back up again. But I also just picked up Guardians, so I'd like to
yeah,
stick with something for more than a week.
the funny thing is, like, you have a Weapon X list, Staten
Mhm.
Island Mike has a Weapon X list, and I have a Weapon X list, and all
Yep,
three of them are wildly different.
which is good because it's not the same thing over and over.
Yes. So my current Weapon X list, which almost is oops all fours, is Logan. Say I'll do affiliated first. So we got Logan,
Mhm.
Sabertooth, second of his name, Apex Predator, Domino, X-23, and
Mhm.
Honey Badger. Sadly, I had to cut Deadpool.
You know what? I don't mind that too much
Yeah.
because I don't think Deadpool does as much as we would like him to, and I cut him a while ago.
Yeah, I know. I kept holding out, but I'm like, he's the one I got that's got to go. So now for unaffiliateds, I'll start with my fours because I have three unaffiliated fours.
hmm
All of them have different jobs. So
Right.
Crimson Dynamo, Spider Woman,
hmm
Beta Ray Bill. Crim-
Those all sound evil in this
yeah,
affiliation,
Crimson Dynamo is there if I know there's going to be brawly fights and I want to make my opponent re-roll his dice.
which is a good thing to have.
Yeah, Spider Woman is for multi extract, so like hammers, cubes,
hmm
even just like chasing down somebody. But she's mostly there for the multis. After I was able to like get 4 cubes off a Juggernaut and run away.
Right.
Um, Beta Ray Bill is there to deal with big boys.
Makes a lot of sense. He likes the bigger they are, the harder they fall
Yeah,
with him.
and then I have currently my other two unaffiliated pieces are Lockjaw, who's the best boy, and every time I'm like, oh, maybe I'll take him out. I don't because I love the fact that Lockjaw lets me put two characters in the middle of the board before they're activated.
The fact that you're allowed to do the way you have that situation, you have Logan in the back before he's even really turned anything into anything is insane to me.
Yeah, yeah. Lockjaw, port Logan up, port Lockjaw or somebody next to Logan. Then got to get some air. Logan is in the backfield.
Mm-hmm. And Logan still hasn't activated yet.
Yep, it's lovely. And then Pyro is sitting there right now.
Right.
I had Mystique in there for a minute. Didn't like her. Deadpool was there obviously, but he just wasn't performing as well. But the Pyro spot may turn to Psylocke, which will give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fours in my list.
I
um,
The name Oops All Fours, like whenever someone asks you what your affiliation list is, just write Oops All Fours.
yeah,
That's
but
all you need.
and like this list has gone through changes here and there. Crimson Dynamo, I added, and I absolutely when I use him, he performs. Spider Woman is great. I had Ronan in here for a while, but he was just there till Beta Ray Bill, till I got him all picked it up, and then Beta Ray Bill's there.
Right.
But yeah, I'm currently loving Weapon X as much as I loved A Force when I first started playing.
Which is saying something because every time I talk to you, like, oh, I got to bring my A-Force back, and you keep finding something new that delays that. Which,
Yeah, like this week I brought Spider Foes just because I wanted to play Spider Foes.
yeah, I mean, you see me. I built like 3 Spider Foes lists. I've been tweaking them. You guys have been helping me with that one. Like, I want Spider Foes to work because they look like they'd be a lot of fun. But I've also like kind of combined them with Criminal Syndicate because, let's be real, sometimes you need the objective more than you need the kitty.
Yeah, and honestly, Kingpin is a Spider Foe. So,
Yes.
and enough of the Spider Foes are affiliated in Criminal Syndicate where it's not that hard of a pivot.
And then I threw Hulkbuster in there because screw it, why not?
Yeah, yeah. Any excuse to play Hulkbuster.
I bought the model, I built the model, I'm gonna have to paint that model. I might as well play him
Exactly.
some point or another.
Now,
Yeah.
if we're extrapolating this to ACO, what do you think you would bring to ACO? Like whatever you're gonna pick, you gotta practice with it. Like you got like I bring 2 teams every week. I bring my competitive team and whatever I feel like playing that week. So, what would be your competitive team that you're bringing to ACO?
All right. I mean, that's tough because you know me. I have a hard time sticking with a team after I get demolished once. Um, Honestly, the only team that seems to have any kind of success for me has been my Guardians list.
Now, since we talked about my Weapon X list, we didn't go into cards and stuff, but who is in
No.
your Guardians list currently?
So my Guardians list is Groot, Rocket Raccoon, Peter Quill, Agent Venom, Beta Ray Bill, Gamora, Drax. Hulk has been at the moment replaced by Hulk Buster.
Okay.
I haven't changed him out of the list just yet. But that might even honestly turn into Ghost Rider because Ghost Rider's done a lot of work for me. Uh, Winter Soldier and Rhino
Okay.
is the actual build for that. I haven't had much of an opportunity to put Rhino on the table for any reason because he just hasn't fit. The crises I've played haven't really afforded me the opportunity to put him on the table, but everybody else has done massive amounts of work for me in some way, shape, or form, and it's been perfect.
Okay.
I'm slowly trying to break myself of having to bring Groot and Rocket every time, though, but it's hard not to because Deadly Duo is such a useful card.
Yep. Yeah, no, and I feel like since you've picked up Guardians, your gameplay has improved.
I appreciate that.
Yes. I think, thinking of the characters that you had, I would honestly take Rhino out of the list and put in X-23.
Really, X-23, why her?
Because if you couple her with the Guardian rerolls, so she gets the token, plus she has her own reroll.
That's right, I forgot she's
she's
rerolls.
hella consistent.
I forgot X-23 gets rerolls completely.
Yeah. And then healing factor's nice.
Yeah.
So
and she's a 3 threat, which would actually be pretty nice.
Yeah, because I don't think you need Rhino. Rhino's nice, but I don't think you're going to put him on the table as much. I think he's just there.
Yeah, he definitely is there. And like I was even thinking of switching him out for Crimson Dynamo, because Crimson Dynamo would be nice to have too.
He would be another good choice. He would.
I thought about that.
Choice. If you want to go 4 for 4, go for Crimson Dynamo.
Yeah, and I switched. The last time I played you, I played Ghost Rider, and Ghost Rider's fantastic.
Oh yeah, Ghost Rider's real good.
So I think he might take the spot of Hulk if Hulkbuster doesn't do anything for me, because I love how he handles, and like you said, that penance there, the value for that is ridiculous.
Yeah. Like,
So I think he might be there.
yeah, but I would try to find one way to fit like X-23 in there, just to get that other three threat. That's a wild, crazy reroll monster. Other than
I
that, I
mean,
think the list is great.
yeah, this list had some good success for me. I went 2-2 with the tournament
Mm-hmm.
that we did a while ago,
And
and
came in third.
I you're never gonna let me forget that, are you?
No, every game, oh, this is terrible. I'm doing terrible. I'm like, oh yeah, look, third place, Leo.
In my defense, I was very surprised that I done as well as I did because the last two guys I played were the ones who took first and
Yeah,
second in the tournament
which is
itself.
great.
But yeah, like it just seems like it's weird. Like Guardian seems to fit my playstyle better than any affiliation I've played,
Mm-hmm.
and that's after I've like tried desperately to get Spider Web Warriors to work because I want to play them so desperately, but they're so situational, and with how many big body characters there are
Yeah,
now, they're almost useless because they can't throw anything above a 3.
yeah. They're like I wanted Web Warriors. I was like, oh, I want to play Web Warriors, and then I like to fight too much to play Web Warriors. Granted, I am
Mm-hmm.
experimenting with punchy webs right now, but
Yes.
they're too squishy for me.
Yeah.
And but I
100%.
like I love this whole Spider-Man universe of characters. Like there, I was looking at my box yesterday, and I'm like, you know what? Spider-Man villains are probably some of the coolest looking villains in all of Marvel. Just
Because
like
there's
they're so good. They're comic book villains. Like they look like comic book villains.
and a lot of them act like comic book villains too. Like Green Goblin is probably one of the even Doc Doom to a lesser extent are probably the two. And I'll semi count him. I know he's a Fantastic Four villain, but he deals with Spider-Man a lot too.
Yeah,
They're two of the most over the top, like stereotypical comic book villains. And every time they're on screen or on a panel or in a game, I am ecstatic because I know full well they're going to just be stupid fun with this dumb one-liners
yep.
and the stupid crazy plots. And I can't wait till they put Doc Doom in this game. I cannot
Speaking of
wait.
which, just as a side note, they did say on the Strike Better podcast they had a couple of AMG developers on there. They had Rowan and Pagani, and they teased
Mm-hmm.
Squirrel Girl. And then, wait, it gets better. They literally said they kept dropping about rodents and squirrels, and like, yeah, you'll hear something soon. And then on the painting stream for Psylocke yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
somebody asked about Squirrel Girl, and they're like, well, we may have to keep quiet for about 10 more days.
Oh my God, that soon?
Like, they're going to announce her, so she may come out April, May?
My God, like what affiliation would she even be? I mean, is she Avengers?
She's in
Is
the
she
West Coast Avengers.
okay? So arguably an Avenger in some way, shape, or
However,
form.
her box mate might be Gwenpool.
Oh my God, really?
Yes.
That would be insane. But the fact that we're getting Squirrel Girl and potentially Gwenpool before we get like Victor Von Doom, Scarlet Spider, even the Fantastic Four at this point is mind blowing to me.
Yes.
There are so many characters I would have expected before Gwenpool if she does show. There was characters I was expecting before even Squirrel Girl would make her appearance.
Listen,
To be perfectly honest.
I this is what I want from Squirrel Girl. I need long moving, extract stealing, ankle biting squirrel grunts.
No. No, you get one of those things.
No.
You get one of those things.
But like,
You don't
listen,
get them all.
I don't care if I either want the squirrels on a small base or a large base. Like, I want a mountain of squirrels that can steal extracts, and like if they're within one of somebody, it's like honey badgers and ankle biter.
I no,
One defense across the board.
I
One
don't
health.
care what defense. Listen, they'll somehow save. They always like mystically they'll somehow save. I
Yeah.
guarantee that.
And
2 health maybe.
and like Red Skull, every time Squirrel Girl activates, squirrels come back. Just-
I,
and I wanted to be like, no joke, like 7th threat.
the squirrels are her.
Listen, she beat Doctor Doom.
I know she beat Doctor Doom to the point where she walks into Doctor Doom's lair to steal. I forget what device she was borrowing.
He's
and
her
Doom
greatest nemesis.
I know, and Doom went to go launch to a monologue and went like, you know what? Just take it. I don't even care. Just take it. I don't want to deal with you. When you get Doc Doom to say, you know what? Take whatever you want and get the hell out of my house, you're doing something.
I haven't read Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, but apparently at some point, like, she was in trouble and Galactus came to help her and, like, put Doom in a prison. Like, I don't know. Like,
What?
Again.
Like in comic books, I know. I forget what it was. Like there's and again, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I could have swore I saw like a set of panels where I think Doom shows up at her apartment
Yeah.
and doesn't realize it's her. And I'm like, she's punking Victor Von Doom. She's punking one of the greatest
Yep.
super villains rather, in like the Marvel verse. I have never seen this man look dumber a day in my life, yet here we are.
Yeah. So she's coming.
I'm terrified to see what that's gonna play like because I've heard her power. Her powers are so incredibly stupid, they're broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they're gonna get AMG, if you're listening, I please give me Scarlet Spider. Do any I don't care what else you do, like just give me Scarlet Spider. Give me Ben Reilly, please. I'm asking nicely.
I just want an Iceman and the Angel box. Those are the only two original X-Men we don't have.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Iceman would be a lot of fun. I feel like they'd probably have to come up with a whole new freezing mechanic for him, which would be kind of interesting.
Slow.
Yeah. But you know full well they're going to come up with a freezing mechanic just to get you to like not be able like they're going to come up with something stupid. You know full
I think
well.
it's gonna be like a slow and incinerate, just to be like you have one less defense because you're not moving.
Yeah, probably.
Like firewall almost, except he's gonna have slow and incinerate instead of root and slow.
Yeah, very true. Very true. There's like what? There's Scarlet Spider. Silk's still not in this.
Yep.
Penny Parker, I've seen her name pop up a couple
Yeah.
times on like different Facebook groups. People want to see her. I've seen someone wanted Spider Ham.
I want Spider Ham.
I would pay so much stupid money for that character. I would never play him, but I'll
Spider
have him.
Ham is on the alt art for Well Laid Plans.
Is he? Get out of here!
Yeah, I played it yesterday.
No shit! Oh my god, that's fantastic. I also want Noir Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I want that. That'd be sick too. Like, there's so many characters that I would pay good money for,
that's
and
the
hopefully
thing
would
with
make
this game,
Web Warriors
like,
better.
I look at Shatterpoint and like I want to paint the models, but looking at the stuff so far, like the gameplay isn't intriguing me. What they've revealed so far, where MCP has so many more characters to go through,
Yep.
and so many different ways they can do things. That like right now, this is like my minis game.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Like I've been following Shatterpoint vicariously through you guys, and like
Mhm.
I'm waiting for the gameplay. Like when they actually do like a
the
YouTube
demos.
play. Yeah, that I'm waiting for that. And like I look at the characters, and I'm like, oh, these look really cool. Same deal. I'd love to paint these, but I don't think I'd ever play the game because it kind of reminds me of Star Wars Legions with less to deal with.
Yes.
And it's like that's cool, but if I wanted to do that, I would just play Star Wars Legions.
Exactly, and I almost bought some Star Wars Legion stuff, but I was like, nah, I'm gonna focus just on MCP. And we were all kind of came to that conclusion last night too. We're like, we're kind of all in on MCP.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like like I said before, like I started like I bought characters to start playing Warhammer, and then like I found this, and I'm like, oh, this is an IP I care about. The gameplay seems really quick, fun, and fast, and I have a chance to actually play the game. It's not like that. My opponent's like, all right, I roll these like 52,000 dice. Your entire army is done. Have a great day. Great game. Shake my hand.
No, granted,
So,
that
like,
still happens sometimes, but
Yeah, but at least my character flips, and I have a chance to be like, hey, maybe he'll roll like crap this time unless I'm playing against Will, which doesn't happen.
Listen, me and Nick both spiked yesterday. He rolled like 8 hits, and I rolled 6 defense. Like it was. Just... Whenever I play him, it's like the most wild games we have because we always come down to one character each.
Yeah, you and me had that happen once too. I think it came down to like Strucker and Bucky at one point between us, and that seems to be your MO these days. Is that you like nail biter last minute games.
Listen, if I can't end the round, if I'm playing Weapon X and I can't end the game by round 3, I get worried.
Because Weapon X has 2 choices: violence or more violence.
Yes.
And when more violence doesn't work, you start to get worried.
And that's why I've started bringing in some of those splashes so I can diversify.
I mean, not like you really need them because most of your splash is just more violent.
Well, yeah, but different energy, different attack violent.
It's still violence. By the way, I had a question for you because I don't think they. I forget who said it. What, when they revealed the Immortal Hulk's card, who was talking about Wasp meta incoming? Was that like a joke to something, or did I just?
What was it? Oh, because I think she's another one that, if I'm not mistaken, is the no, you don't get power from her attack. If I'm not mistaken, let me check.
I, like, that I don't recall.
Yeah, let
I
me see.
have Wasp,
I
and
think
God
that might
knows.
have been it though. Yeah, Stinger Blast, her builder. You don't gain power for the
Oh,
attack.
yeah, but you got to be tiny Wasp for that. That's the problem with that one.
Yeah, that's true. But you get
I
stealth.
You do get stealth. Like I listen, I want to try Wasp in something because with how much fun Ant-Man is to play, I can only imagine she's got to be kind of the same thing.
Oh yeah, she's super fun. I love Wasp, especially in A Force.
That's why I want to try and get Avengers to work, but like every time I play Avengers, it never works.
Try A
So I might
Force.
just I did try A-Force. It didn't work the first time. And you told me I cannot switch affiliations for the next like 2 months.
No, you gotta stick with Guardians through
Exactly.
ACO.
Through ACO, my brother. Tie my arm behind my back, why don't you?
Listen, so 3.5 months.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah,
you can
three and a
still
half.
bring a second list, but you gotta practice that one.
I know,
And every
I
time
know,
I
and
play you for the next 3.5 months, I'm using Weapon X.
I know. I gotta flip out that Rhino card too in my list if I'm taking Rhino out. I gotta because I think this is a robbery in
Yeah,
there,
as you should.
which I gotta find something. Maybe I'll put Grievous Wounds in there. Who knows?
As you should.
Lord knows I have. Lord knows I already have. I think it's Crew of the Milano. No, Crew of the
Yes.
Milano. It is Crew of the Milano. The one. Yeah, that's another situational card I have that's only good against really
With all the
Strucker and
conditions
his.
that, well, no, with all the conditions people are giving out now. Yeah,
True.
because like Spider Woman's dishing them out, Psylocke's dishing them out. Yeah,
Yep.
everybody's got
That's
conditions.
Yeah, it's crazy the conditions that are coming out on so many characters now. And there's a lot more characters that are like Hulk that are getting the innate you don't have to hit a trigger for this, you just get the
Yep.
negative effect from it. Because I think Hulk's got it, Spider-Woman's got it, who else is coming up or
I
just
feel
came
like
out that
Beta Ray
also
Bill has
has
something.
Beta Ray Bill's got one because I think he gets shock off the rip.
Yeah.
I think it's his secondary builder.
Yeah, I think a lot of times on the spenders, you're just getting a condition.
His summon the storm. No, it's on a wild. There's a shock. Stuns on a wild. No, he doesn't get anything innate.
No.
Yeah, the only thing he gets innate is if the target has flight, he gets two rerolls, including skulls.
Gotcha.
So which is still ridiculously good. And the fact he's immune to bleed, incinerate, and poison is also fantastic.
Well, just as a fun thing, I follow Longshanks on Facebook.
Mhm.
And in February, MCP seems to be the most played game.
Nice.
Um, X-Wing was second place at 79 games played in February. How many games do you think MCP had played?
You said MCV was first.
MCP's first, X-Wing second at 79.
I say 150,
Little high, 122.
122. I knew it was in the hundreds, but I wasn't sure
Yeah.
exactly.
I
So
mean,
the
but
fact that I was in
that's
that bad.
amazing.
But that's the thing, because I think a lot more people are starting. Because when MCP first came out, and I think we've had this talk previously, it came out right before the pandemic hit,
Yep.
so no one could really see what the game was about. It didn't really get a lot of publicity because like everything shut down. Now that everything's coming back, more and more people are starting to see what the game is capable of because it's showing up at tournaments, it's showing up at locals. You're running a tournament series. Other people are starting to pick up tournament series locally that weren't there before. And that's getting the game out there. But also, I believe it was during the tournament. What was it, 2 weeks ago? We had people coming into the store, and like people were coming up to the table and going like, "What is this?" I was talking to someone during our break who was really into Warhammer. He was there for a rated Warhammer game, and he was waiting for his opponent. I spent like 20+ minutes talking to him about Marvel. And he's like, "That's really cool. I didn't know this was a thing, and
Yeah.
his models are fantastic."
And I
So
think
like
somebody
it's
bought a core box maybe last night or last week, something like that. But the last two game nights, the last two Tuesdays, we've had like 12 to 15 people there.
which is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. Like I love to see that it's coming. I mean, granted, RSG is going to have to get probably a bigger space at some point with all these guys coming in, but it's fantastic to see because the game is a lot of fun and it gives you something a lot of other tabletop games don't give you. It gives you the interaction with the terrain that other games don't give you, and it also gives you interaction with the characters that a lot of games don't give you. And also, it's Marvel.
Yeah.
Like and it's so much less complex. I watched someone play through the DC
Oh yeah,
version of
yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah.
and like that seems really cool, but it's kind of got some of the complexities that like Warhammer kind of has with like the status effects and like
Yeah.
the aim to not Warhammer, Star Wars,
Legion.
yeah, Legion has with like the aim tokens and like certain abilities that only certain grunts and stuff get. That was a little much. Marvel's like that perfect middle ground that anybody can pick it up, anybody can play, and even if you don't, the models are cool to paint.
Yeah, exactly. And on that note, I have started up a little project.
Okay.
I'm going to put a link to it in the description. But I started a Northeast community calendar
Yes.
because with all of the tournaments that are popping up, like I don't, we don't live anywhere near Oneonta, New York. We're like 4 hours from Oneonta, New York. But
Mhm.
I want to head up there because they're about a couple hours from my parents. So I wanted to go up there for an LVO qualifier, but we scheduled them on the same day. So now we
Right.
have the calendar. Things moved. I'm going to be able to go up there in May. But
Mhm.
right now I'm covering Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, north through Maine. So I'm
That's
putting,
fantastic.
yeah, anything for tournaments, anything for game nights. You can send to GameStoreGuardiansWill@gmail.com and I'll add it on there to the calendar. So a few stores are putting it on there and things like that. But yeah, just to try to get the Northeast a little more together, so that
Yep.
because I mean, alone in Jersey we have anywhere from like 3 to 5 stores that do tournaments. Because we got
I
East Coast.
know
Oh, we got East Coast. We got
East Coast
Redfield.
does it. Yep.
Shipwreck does them like kind of quarterly, which is out in
Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yeah.
Not Shipwreck. I'm sorry.
Uh,
Wargamers
um,
Guild.
War
Wargamers
Gamers
Guild.
Guild. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Shipwreck might try to start because they're starting to build a community. They're in Forked River.
Yeah. I saw somebody in the Discord asking about playing a shipwreck. I think it was like last week.
Yeah,
So that's starting to come up.
and then I think I don't think Mythicos does it anymore.
What
But
about the other store that I think? What was the other store that was up north that
yeah,
was doing them?
yeah, I forget what the name of the store was, but Rob's not doing tournaments there anymore. But
Okay.
and other stores, because I mean, I work for the hobby industry, so like other stores are talking about Marvel, so it's only growing. And like we're
Which
getting
is
people inquiring. We had somebody come down from Connecticut for one of the tournaments. I have a couple guys in New York City that want to come down, maybe possibly. So like it's growing. So we needed a calendar to organize everything. So I took it upon myself to do a Google calendar, and the link is up for. I think the Danger Room Discord actually pinned it as one of their messages. So
that's great.
yeah, so I think a couple other Discords did as well, including ours. But so yeah, that's a project that I'm working on right now. Right now it's updated through June,
Right.
but I'm
I did peek
yeah.
into there real fast. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm checking Longshanks every week just to see if there's any new tournaments that pop up, and I throw them on there. So yeah.
Which is
Go ahead.
that's great. That's fantastic because like I know there's like the two Facebook groups that I'm in.
Hmm.
I think one of them. I think you run one of them, but the other one is like the one that
I don't
is
run
the.
any of the Facebook groups. Somebody else thought I ran the Facebook group. I'm like, that's not me. I just post there.
I think you post there. I think you post there enough
Yeah.
where it was like, okay, Will runs this, but yeah, like but yeah, like there's like the two Facebook groups, and that's really all I've kind of seen. And I'm
Hmm.
always seeing somebody in there going like, hey, I'm in like Connecticut, or I'm in like South Jersey, or I'm in I don't know, like Vermont or something.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm looking for someone to play with. Is there like a store? Is there a scene? And like they'll get answers, but they're always like a day or two later sometimes.
Yeah.
So like that's really big to have, and that's really useful to have, especially for people who are new into the scene, because it'll give them the opportunity to meet people who can either A, get them more into the game,
Hmm.
or to help them hone their skills more than they already have, which is fantastic. And like that's kind of how it is. Like every community's got to kind of self-govern each other a
Yeah.
little bit, and that's how this is supposed to be. And I think this is probably one of the healthier communities I've been a part of,
Yeah.
to be perfectly
Absolutely.
honest with you.
Yeah.
And I'm very thankful that it's only getting bigger.
Yeah. I think I've only come across like 1 or 2 people that kind of like they were there for a little bit and then just disappeared. But for the
Yeah,
most
I
part,
mean,
everybody's kind of chill and we all get along and all that stuff. So it's great, and I'm just
yeah,
glad it's growing because I'm glad it's a game that just everybody sees, even people just walking by, like you said, like, oh, what's this? Oh, Hulk just threw a building at somebody. What?
yeah,
So,
yeah. It's like it's that sense of I've always equated it to that sense of like my character didn't do that. I did that in a
yeah,
sense. Like I'm the one who told Hulk like, hey, pick up that building and then just break it in half over Iron Man.
yep,
or Captain America bounce your shield off of Hulk and then bank it again into Kingpin for funsies, like that type of stuff. Like it's that sense of what is it? Like excitement you get where like you're the one telling your heroes to do that because
like,
you're in your shoes of your own.
You're the
heroes.
director, basically.
Yep. Yeah, it's exactly. That's the great way to look. You're directing a movie that the scene either works amazingly and goes perfectly, or blows up in your face, and now it's the villain's turn to get that revenge.
Yeah.
Like that's an awesome way to look at it. I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah. But I think that is going to wrap it up for us this week.
I would say so.
Yeah. So we have a tournament coming up at East Coast next Saturday, and then the following
that's
the 10th. No, the 11th.
Okay.
Because Psylocke comes out on the 10th. And then the 18th, we have a tournament at Red Seal.
Okay.
So
the week, I know for a fact the weekend of the 18th, I won't be able to. I can come and hang. I have family coming into town. You know how that goes. I'm warning you ahead of time. It's like I signed up for it and have to back out this time.
Sure, you come in third place and you don't play again.
Hey, I'll take my top. I'll take my top 3 finish and finish on top.
Yeah. But and we're coming into convention season, so it's gonna get crazy.
It's gonna get nutty, but you know what? It's gonna be a good kind of nutty.
Yep. All right. So I'm Will.
I'm Leo.
And we will see you next time.
Yep. Take care.
Later.